Hiya!
Hello,
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl,
I am Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
and we're glad to have you today. Today is Thursday, the 7th of March, 2019, and this is episode 335. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys.
Close enough.
About even. It's so funny when I edit the video and, our hearts are like this, or
Abstract.
like this. A big welcome back to all of our returning viewers, and a big hiya to all of our new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. Dammy, nobody introduced themselves to the Ravelry group this week.
Sad.
Would you tell people how they do that and why they should do that?
You should join our group on Ravelry and introduce yourself in our introduction thread because you'll get a shout out on our next episode and you'll be able to participate in all our owls and giveaways.
That's right. And the new spring owl started on Friday, and we'll be announcing prize winners for the winter owl today. And and all kinds of other fun stuff. So we should probably get started. Here we go.
Now we're going to talk about what's on our needles.
What's on your needles, Dammy?
So I want to say that I made some progress on my straightforward Knits by Monet Drager on US 3's 3.25 millimeter needles in Penguin Soup and Burnstock and the Baker colorway, but I really have no recollection of any of the past week beyond writing several thousand words for assignments. So who's to say?
Because this is like the last week of classes because finals are next week.
This is dead week.
Yeah. So, but you are coming home. You are coming home for like 10 days or something. So I bet you could finish them while you're here.
Yeah.
So, okay. Do you know what you're going to do next after you finish these knits?
Probably go back to Hadestown designing stuff. I want to see, I really can't recall anything about that either. I've got Persephone halfway typed out, I think. And then I think Orpheus is in progress, but I really don't remember what I was doing for Orpheus.
Orpheus is in progress because it's blacked out on our show note doc.
Yeah, so who knows?
Okay. Fun times. I was gushing about Patrick Page at Knitting Group last night.
I know you texted me.
Because I was telling them that you were suffering greatly yesterday having to watch Hunchback. Mm-hmm. And it was such a sacrifice because she needed to use it for a paper. That's why she was rewatching it for the 50 gazillionth time. So, yeah. And then, so of course, we got to then of course we got to Patrick Page, and then Page, and all that.
It's going to be a really good paper. Let me know if you want to read it when I finish it.
I will.
It's got several pages of sources.
Yeah. So Dammy is in a different location recording today because her normal location is being used by someone else. And so she's actually kind of in the hallway of her dorm floor.
I'm literally in the hallway.
So people may be walking by and all that. So I told her if she stood up, she would look like she has angel's wings because of the two door thingies.
You raise me.
There we go.
Okay, so what's on your needles?
Okay, well, I have, as always, but not for forever, my Tim Stitch Zigzag Blanket by Frankie Brown on US 4's 3.5 mil needles. And last week I finished the 63rd stripe, so that put me at 90% done. And I've been working on the 64th stripe, which is Malabrigo yarn sock in the Fresco Iseko colorway. And I just did the zig part of Zigzag 11. So barring any weird things happening this week, I should be done with 64 by the time we record next. And then I can't remember what's next, but I have it laid out and everything, so I will be doing that. And then I'm working on Dammy's belated 2018 Christmas socks. which I'm using my French vanilla cappuccino sock pattern and incorporating the Hermione and Crookshanks pattern by Sandra C. I'm using US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles and US 2.5, 3 mil needles. And I'm using West Yorkshire Spinner's Signature 4-ply in self-striping in the Fairy Lights colorway and the Lana Dream in the Tapenade colorway. So, Dammy, you remember last week?
No.
Last week? No. We reviewed Pom Pom Quarterly.
Yeah, that did happen.
And remember that was where there was that colorwork sweater where the colorwork went down onto the arms, but the sleeves were already going to be, they were meant to be close fitting. So they had that little paragraph that I read to y'all about turning the sleeves inside out and working in the inside because that would give you your floats a little more distance.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. Your socks. So I finished, I had to think back because I messed up yesterday, but I finished row 11 of 19 of the chart. So what I did is I just turned it inside out, and then instead of
have to not catch my toes on them.
Yes. And I had to make these floats much longer than I would normally do because you have to get it over your heel. And it just, I mean, it's different than if you're putting a sleeve on because you're putting a sleeve on straight, but you have to put it over the heel. So anyway, so I turned it inside out, and then instead of working on the front needle, you work on the back needle because this is needle 1. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I can definitely tell a difference. I probably will do the cuff that way too because it's in the color work and that'll give it just a little more stretch. So I want Dammy to take these socks home with her or back to school with her after spring break. So they will be done. I'm continuing to work on my favorite murder mystery wrap. I actually had a conversation about this morning. I don't know if I'm going to call it my favorite murder mystery wrap or if I'm going to actually give it a name. Another Knitterino released a shawl pattern in the last week or so called Stay Out of the Forest, which is one of the design elements in the wrap, is based on the Stay Out of the Forest quote. But there's lots of other ones. So I told Dammy, I'm trying to be more aware of when I say and not to say it so often, but it's hard, yo. So I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. But I think part of my problem is I talk so fast that my brain needs to catch up. And so I say because I'm letting my brain catch up. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyway, it's on US 2.5, 3 mil and US 4, 3.5 mil needles. And the yarn is Suburban Stitcher Sock in the Triflers Need Not Apply colorway. And my testers are doing amazing. I think at least half of them are done with Clue 1. And some more of them are done because you do 2 pieces concurrently because they're going to meet in the middle. So I think some of them are done with the first panel of the 2. See, I caught myself there. But there was a couple of people that were having to wait for their yarn to arrive, and so they're running a little bit behind, but it's fine. The first Clue is the most involved in depth, uses the most yarn, etc. So I am working on that, and we'll have details again to remind you about the pre-order for the kits going up. They go up actually for pre-order 2 weeks from yesterday when we record. When today's Thursday, they go up for pre-order 2 weeks from yesterday, Wednesday. So, yeah. And then the final thing is the replacement baby blanket for my nephew Waylon.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you. This is the malt pattern by Tin Can Knits, but I modified it. I've told y'all about that. US 8's 5 mil needles, and it's on Lion Brand Heartland in the Glacier Bay and Kings Canyon colorways. And I'm so ready for this to be done. So I've talked about before that when I knit with heavier weight yarn and larger needles, I can only do so much because then my fingers like start going kind of numb, tingly, that kind of feeling. So yesterday, the Dr. Hubbs and I went to the Ash Wednesday service at our church at noon. And I knit during the services, but I wasn't doing a preemie hat because I do the preemie hats on Sundays.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what am I going to take with me? Well, I can't take the zigzag blanket with me. That thing is a monstrosity. It can't leave the house.
Yeah.
I didn't want to take the design with me because I needed to read the chart. I didn't want to take your socks with me because I had to read from the chart. So I took Waylon's blanket. And the service was only about 35 minutes, so it was fine. But then last night was knit night, and I was again in the whole same position. And so I took his blanket to work on, and I worked on it, and I had to like stop with still an hour of knitting group to go because my fingers were going numb.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think this blanket is ever going to end. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. So last week when we recorded, I put this cute little pink kitty in. So I've knit everything from the pink kitty up. Dammy is also sitting right next to the kitchen on the floor. Just FYI. So where the kitty is, the cute little pink kitty, that's what I've knit this week. I still have this much of skein 2 left. And I bought another skein, but I want to be done. But so the pattern says to go to 32 inches, but that's not going to be big enough. I think 32 inches is like the right size for like a crib or a car seat. So we discussed it at knitting group last night, and I'm going to go to 36 inches. And I was at maybe like 27 last night, around there. I'm just ready to be done because I can, other than yesterday, I worked on it every day, but I only would do like 3 ridges, like 6 rows. And then I would set it aside and work on something else because that way my fingers. So.
I'm sorry.
No fun. And I know Waylon wants his blanket too, so I'm going to try to get it done for him. But yeah, numb fingers are no fun, just so you know. All right. I think that's everything for this segment. Probably move on.
And now we're going to talk about your finished project. I looked at the show notes this time, so I actually knew you had just one.
Just one. Next week, hopefully, I'll have 2. Preemie hat and your socks. And hopefully they'll be blocked. Okay. Here is my 9th preemie hat for the year. This is my free top-down preemie hat pattern that you can get on Ravelry. I use US 6's 4 mil needles, and the yarn I held double Ginger's hand-dyed bleeding velvet 4-ply in the Heart of the City colorway, and then I used Red Heart Soft in the light gray Heather colorway. I thought I had enough of the Heart of the City colorway to do the whole hat, and I was still going to do the gray pom-pom on top, but I didn't, which is fine because it still looks cute. So number 9 for the year. And one of the ladies at knitting group last night had made a preemie hat at some point, and she knows that I donate them, and so she was like, I'm going to bring it to you, and you can just put it in with your donations. So another preemie hat got added to the bag. It's overflowing. I tried to put last week's hat in there, and it came tumbling down because the bag is so full. So that means I need to do a donation. But I want to try to donate to the hospital where our friend's baby was in the NICU recently. And so I need to contact them and make sure that they accept them and where to send them. So, and that's the only thing I finished this week. So we should probably move on to the next segment. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are yummies, Dammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. So, Dammy, Pink Pearl and I had a guest come
Oh,
visit.
I know.
Had a guest come visit us on Friday. The one, the only Yuko from Honeyberry Studios came on the ferry, and we picked her up, and we got coffee, and then we came to our happy little flat, and we ate pastries that she had brought from a Seattle bakery, and we chatted. We were going to work on craft projects, and we just ended up chatting the whole time. She even actually stayed until a ferry later than she had planned because we were having so much fun. And she brought Pink Pearl birthday presents, which Pink Pearl lost her ever-loving mind about. Stay tuned after the credits. I'll put a video in of her interacting with birthday presents. And she also is highly obsessed with the paper bag that said presents and pastries came in. And she has taken to walking into the paper bag, turning into a circle and making herself a croissant and peering out from the paper bag. She's crazy. But we had such a lovely time. Oh, and she brought me a magnet. Self-care is not selfish. I have the card of it hanging on my wall in my little office space over here. But she just had gotten the magnets in that day and brought me one. So I put it up on our refrigerator, but I took it off to show y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But we had a lovely time. It was so much fun to hang out with her. We've actually only, prior to Friday, we'd only actually met each other once in person. But then we have just become fast Instagram friends, primarily.
Instagram is the internet.
Yes, it is. And she sent stuff, and we reviewed it on the podcast, and we did some fun giveaways, and I got my llama calendar from her, and you bought me a sweet card from her, and I bought a card from her as well, and she sent me a sweet card when you left to go to college because she knew I was having a rough time. That was bizarre.
What?
My Bluetooth headphones just said to me, "Your device is connected, but it's been connected this whole time." I was like, wait, what?
It's just reminding you.
Apparently. I said the word. Anyway, and I have the little ceramic kitty that she made that's like an ornament, but I hang it at my desk. And I have the kitty to-do list pad and the succulents pad. I have some of her stickers hanging on our bathroom mirror. I'm kind of a fan of Yuko. So if you've never seen her stuff, you should go honeyberrystudios.com. It's linked in the show notes. And we had just a lovely time, and we talked about doing some other fun things together. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, we have become fast Instagram friends. And she loves Pink Pearl, so she was very excited to come meet her. I think we might do, what's it called? Edmonds Farmers Market. I may go up to Kingston and take the ferry across and meet her and do the Edmonds Farmers Market at some point because it's so much fun. So it was lovely, lovely, lovely. Now, Dammy, I have a secret thing to show you.
What?
I haven't shown Dammy because I wanted to get her reaction when I showed her. Are you ready? You shouldn't be scared. It's an awesome surprise. Are you ready?
So cute.
It's my Belle bag. Belle with Mrs. Potts and Chip, and the inside, pink glitter. And it's got a lovely, lovely flat base on it. And then you just tie it in a knot to close it. And my lovely, lovely friend, Mary, who is I think she's in Glad You on Ravelry. I think that's right. She's the one that invited us to knitting group when we moved here.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me if I bought the fabric, she would make it for me, and she brought it last night. And I'm so excited. But I wanted to see Dammy's reaction when I showed. Isn't it cute?
Yeah.
And I have plenty of fabric left to use in the English paper piecing quilt that I'm making. Because I couldn't remember when I went to the store how much she had told me that I would need. And so I just bought a full yard of both. And I was like, I'll just use the rest in the quilt.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to put a project into it. And
you said just a second ago.
I know.
And
I'm trying. When you're here, we should go look at the Little Mermaid fabric to see if you like it and want a bag.
Okay.
Oh, and I need to tell you this.
What?
Mary sent me the pattern information for it. So if somebody wanted to get the pattern to make their own. So it's on Etsy, and I've linked it up in our show notes, but it's called the Runaway Bag Pattern. And the designer is Ellen Mason. She's, I don't know how to say this, Odacier. Odacier?
Sure.
That is her Etsy shop name. But the description of the pattern actually made me really laugh. It says, "Be ready to run away at a moment's notice with this handy little bag. Toss in your knitting, a change of underwear, and a toothbrush. Cinch the ties to your belt with the end of a stick. Make one for a friend so you can run away together." So I'm so excited. I love Belle. I love Belle. It's got roses and it's pink. And, we'll talk about that in a minute. I was going to say something, but I was like, oh, wait, I'll save it till we talk about that. So thank you so much, Mary. I already told her thank you a ton last night at knitting group. I was so excited. So excited. And so grateful that she invited us to that knitting group when we came here, because it's been a source of much joy. Oh, would you like to hear a story from knitting group last night?
Sure.
It was quite humorous. So, Starbucks has this new cloud drink. Have you seen it?
Macchiato.
Yes. And the cloud is like the milk is like a meringue whip. It's got eggs in it.
That's interesting.
So, and it comes in caramel and cinnamon. So last night, go to knitting group. I was cold. It had snowed yesterday. We got 2 inches of snow last night. Anyway,
we got a little half inch. No, not even half inch. 1 millimeter sprinkling.
Yes.
Here.
It started snowing like just before lunch yesterday, but none of it stuck. Even when we went to bed last night, there was still none on the ground. None had stuck. And then woke up this morning to 2 inches. Anyway, so I was cold, so I didn't want an iced coffee, because that's what it is. The cloud drinks are iced. So I got a latte.
Mm-hmm.
And we meet at Barnes & Noble in the cafe area. And so, of course, we've gotten to know the employees that work there. And there's one in particular employee, a young gentleman who, like, I'll end up drinking all of my water bottle, and I'll go take it up and say, "Please, could I have some more water?" And he's like, "I'm going to have to start charging you for this," jokingly. So I went up to get some more water last night, and I said to him, I was like, "Hey, have you tried the new cloud drink things? I was going to get one tonight to try it, but I was cold, so I got hot coffee." And he's like, "I'm not supposed to talk about my feelings about this because I'm biased." And I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Tell me, I won't tell anybody you told," and now I'm telling the whole podcast. So he was not a fan of the drinks. And I was like, you really should be like an ice cream shop so that I can just try a sample to see if I like it. And he was like, oh, I'll make a sample. So he made a sample and brought around sample cups to everybody that was in the...
Oh, just the meringue whip?
No, of the coffee. Of the iced... It was the iced cloud macchiato, and he made the caramel one.
I know.
And he brought it.
Like it.
You're covering your microphone, by the way.
You didn't like it?
Well, let me finish my story. He brought it over in these little cups. And not everybody at the table got some, but several of us did, and I took a sip. And he looks at me, and I look back. I was like, okay, hold on. Let me do another sip. He was like, so what do you think? And I was like... And he was like, I was like, yes, I feel the same way you do. I would not recommend it. I didn't think it tasted good at all. And I love caramel. It was like, it's a combination of it's that meringue with the eggs in it combining with the caramel. And he said the cinnamon was the same way. He said it's tasted like some kind of like lemon pudding with the cinnamon in it. Because of the eggs.
Eggy.
So... I was really glad that it was cold yesterday and I got hot coffee and didn't order one of those because it would have been a waste of money because it was disgusting. In my own opinion, it was not a yummy, but the story is funny. So that's what happened at the group last night. But don't tell that the employee told me. Secret, keep it just between us, okay? So anyway, that was part of the fun of knitting group last night. We had a good time. So, do you have any yummies while I get a drink of water?
I already told you I really don't remember the past week, so no.
I'm trying to remember your past week because we talk every day.
I've just got papers that I gotta write tonight, and then more papers to write over the weekend that'll be due on Monday.
Right.
Finals the rest of the week.
And you're coming home on Friday. I'm looking at the calendar to see if I see anything. Well, one of your yummies was watching Hunchback. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you go to the Ash Wednesday service last night?
Yeah. I still have remainders of the ashes on my forehead because it didn't come all the way off.
Oh, you went to UW.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You can talk about that.
I went to the UW Suzello Allen Library.
Will we see a picture in GGK Crafty Pad of the buildings? Or no? Or is it the cat?
No, it's the kitty.
Okay.
Yeah, but UW is enormous, and we only went into one building.
But you thought it looked like a castle because of the...
It does, and then the contrast of the architecture of buildings right next to each other is really trippy, so... Like, the graduate admissions building looks like the exterior of one of the cathedrals in Edinburgh.
I miss Edinburgh so much.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't think I could go there because it's just too big.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think they have theater major.
I don't know. You were looking for a smaller school, so we didn't even consider. Most of the state universities are rather large, so.
Yeah, but good research in there, so that's it.
Well, that's good. That's good. And you got an excursion off campus.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to see a kitty. Mm-hmm. What's the kitty's name?
Binks, as in Jar Jar.
That's right.
He's almost 1 year old.
Aw, so sweet. All right, do you have anything else?
Nope.
Well, then let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month, so take a look at the prompt for that day to take a picture related to it and post it anywhere you like. But we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right. So this month, March's theme is colors. So either each day is a specific color or something related to colors like stripes, neon, flamboyant, your favorite color, etc. So, I'll tell you after we do this. So so Dammy, what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. Great job, everybody.
Clap.
It's never too late to join in. You just take a look at the prompts list. So today, when we're recording, Thursday, the whatever day I said, 7th. Oh, it's right there on my computer. Thursday the 7th. Today's color is pink. So I told the Dr. Hubs I should take a picture of my new bag because it's pink with pink pearl. Because that would be really funny.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'm going to do. Yes, I haven't showed it to her yet. So you take a look at the prompts list. You take a photo related to it. You interpret it however you want. Because technically, pink pearl is not pink in color.
She's got pink nose.
She does.
Pink inside of her ears.
Yes. So you interpret it however you want. You post it on Instagram and make sure in the caption you use hashtag #GGKCraftyPad because that's how we find your photos. If you're participating in it and you have a private Instagram account, you need to make sure that Dammy's Doodles is following you. So send her a PM because otherwise we can't see your photos.
Yeah.
So make sure you let us know if you have a private account. And yours might get chosen. We pick new ones every week. Okay, upcoming events. The Pacific Northwest Yarn Crawl is the first weekend in May. I still don't know what day I'm going on, but we have a good 2 months before that happens. So I will let you know. But the website is in the show notes if you want to look at the details. So there's 10 shops this time, but one of them is a pop-up shop in one of the other yarn stores. So 9 locations we have to go to because they added a new shop this year. And I don't know if Janine and I will try to do it all in one day again or if we will do 2 days. We shall.
Why don't you spread it out and let yourselves rest?
Well, part of the problem is
children.
No. The route of it doesn't make sense to go back out really over 2 days because it's almost a loop. It's like a loop.
Mm-hmm.
So starting up in Poulsbo, and then down to Allen, and then it's like a loop all the way back up. So it would be like go half of the loop and come home, and then the next day do the other half of the loop. It would take more gas and mileage and all that. So, but if that's what she wants to do, that's fine. I'm along for the ride, so I will do whatever she wants to do. But we'll discuss it. We still got a couple of months, like I said. All right. I think that's everything. So let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
What are you reading, watching, and listening to, Pink Pearl?
You are reading nothing because you don't know how to read. You are watching the birds and the other cat across the way.
She's also been watching TV with me.
Oh, you are listening to...
Mama. Mama, telling you to...
No, you're not. You know you're not.
To not be naughty and to behave. That's right. Mama tells you. Her got in trouble because her was naughty the other day. Yes, her did.
Oh, my sweet baby.
Yeah, you were naughty, weren't you?
Oh, look at that soft, fluffy belly.
Oh, Betty Webb. Oh, did I tell you that she tried to escape the other day?
Yes, you did.
The Dr. Hubs opened the door and she was standing on the banister and jumped down and got her head outside before he got her back in.
No, baby.
She tried to escape last night too when we came home from knitting group.
No.
She was on the floor though, and so I was able to use my foot and be like, no, you can't come out.
She's learning from Winx, even though she's never met Winx.
Did you hear her? Her said, I want to go outside.
You've been outside, baby.
Mama, can you go outside in the snow?
Yes, we put your little paws in the snow.
Do you want to say anything for the podcast? Oh, her said, let me interpret for you. Her said, meow meow. Stay tuned after the credits for my video where I go crazy with my birthday presents from Yuko. Yuko, my friend. Yuko, my friend, who'll bring me presents.
Yeah.
I told her, come back soon. Yeah, come back soon, Yuko.
Oh my gosh.
Come back soon, Yuko. I said, you want down?
Bye-bye, baby.
Bye-bye, people. Okay, I'm going to jump down. Woo!
So, reading, watching, and listening to. I actually finished reading Respect for Acting by Uta Hagen, so I should probably put that in there.
Yeah, and highlight it for me so that I can change it in the show notes.
Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
I also finished reading Sacred Pauses by April Yamasaki. I don't know what I was thinking when you texted me.
I did. I texted Amy. I was like, are you still reading the same things? And she was like, yes. And I was like, okay.
And then I'm like, oh, no,
What about the other one?
And I've been reading and rereading Edith Stein by Arthur Giron because I'm performing a scene from that for my acting final.
Yeah. So are you getting your lines down?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, what my group read through the scene 6-7 times today before we even started to try blocking it.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
And you're reading something else too.
Yes, The Glass Scientist, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Katungo. Now, what are you reading?
Well, before we talk about what I'm reading, I assume that you are getting your 15 minutes a day in.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
What am I referring to?
You're referring to the January, February, March read along.
Yes, so this year we're doing both quarterly read-alongs as well as a year-long read-along. Your challenge is to read 15 minutes a day, every day. I don't care what you read, as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. There's a finish line thread for the quarterly read-along in the group, Ravelry group, as well as details about the year-long where you earn entries based on each quarter's reading, as well as there's some bonus entry opportunities. And we will announce 3 grand prize winners at the beginning of next year. So it's never too late to join in. So come read with us. Whatever you're reading, anything counts. So what I'm reading. I did read actually some this week in The Road Back to You, an Enneagram Journey to Self-Discovery by Ian Morgan Cron and Suzanne Stabile. I skipped 9 though because the Sleeping at Last podcast guy who writes the songs, he hasn't released the song yet for 9s. Mm-hmm. So I jumped to 1s. And so I read and listened to the 1s. It's very, very interesting for him to talk about. He talks about his process of learning about the type and writing the song for that type, as well as has a guy who is super, super, super knowledgeable about the Enneagram, comes on and talks about the types. So it's really interesting to do that. So I did 1s this week. So my goal will be to do 2s next week. I also am continuing to read For the Love, Fighting for Grace in a World of Impossible Standards by Jen Hatmaker. I am now reading Harry Potter and the Goblet Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which is the fourth book in the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling. I'm rereading it along with Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast and Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast. The furthest I've read is I did read when, I think the chapter's called like Back to the Burrow, when Mr. Weasley.
Yes, Mr. Weasley.
What's his name?
Arthur,
where Arthur and Fred and George and Ron came to get Harry, and they came through the Floo network, but they had turned it into an electric fire, and they got stuck, and they had to explode it out to get out of the chimney. So I read that. I've read through that chapter, and I've listened to like half of the podcast for Harry Potter and the Sacred Text for that chapter. I need to finish that, and I need to listen to the Swish and Flick for that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I was talking last night to Mary, who made my bag, Mary's daughter, Megan, because she is very interested in Harry Potter, and we were discussing, she found some other Harry Potter podcasts. But I had told her, I was like, I'm going to get caught up with Swish and Flick, and then I'm going to have to wait like every week for them to put out new episodes, because their last episode that they put out for Goblet of Fire was chapter 12. And I'm listening to chapter 4 right now. So I'm going to get caught up and have to wait week after week. I will never get caught up with Sacred Text, because they're already into book 5, chapter 24. But they read Back to the Burrow through the theme of mystery. So that's what I've been listening to about that. And then other fiction-wise, I finished reading book 5 of the Cat Who ... series by Lillian Jackson Braun. I finished reading book 12 in the In Death series by J.D. Robb. And can I just say this? How bizarre is this? There are like 50 gazillion books in this series. I don't really know how many, but there's a lot. The library doesn't have one of them right in the very middle of the series. They don't have it physical in any location. They don't have it ebook. I put in a request for like either for them to purchase it or interlibrary loan it, but they have not responded to whether they're going to do that yet. If not, I guess I'm going to have to just like buy the copy so that I can read the next book. And I think it's like book 14 or book 15, because I have book 13 ready to read. Because I also finished reading book 8 of the Anna Pigeon series by Nevada Barr. I finished that last night. So the next book that I have in my checkout queue is to read book 13 of the In Death series. But I just thought that was so bizarre, because I'm actually going to look and see how many books there are in the series, because I want to say there's a bazillion.
A bazillion? Is that a scientific number?
Yes. Wikipedia to the rescue. Okay. There are 59.
That's a lot.
I know. So I'm like, how can you be missing one of them?
What probably happened is it got lost.
Probably. Let me see. I want to tell you which one for sure that they're missing. Because I just finished 12. I have 13. Purity in Death. That's the one they're missing. So, yeah. I'm like, I don't understand how you cannot have like this one book right in the middle of the series. Strangeness. Okay, that is everything I'm reading. I'm drinking a little water so that I can talk to you some more, because we watched some movies this week. Well, I watched some movies. No, Dr. Hubbs and I watched some movies too. So I watched the 2 Hallmark movies this week. The first one was called Just Add Romance. It was set in a cooking competition. And
you told me about this one.
Spoilers, the characters fell in love, and so for the first time ever, there was a tie on the contest, and the prize was a backer for you to open your own restaurant. So they opened a restaurant together.
Aww.
It was so sweet.
That's not predictable.
Nope, not at all. I was to say I read, but I didn't. I watched Chronicle Mysteries Vines That Bind, because it was set in wine country. And that was the third in the trilogy. So I don't know if they'll make more, maybe, but they had billed it as the trilogy. We'll see. The Dr. Hubs and I also watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I was very, very confused.
Well, you watched it without me?
Yes. We can watch it again. I'll watch it with you.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you were wanting to watch it.
What Marvel movie do I not want to watch?
Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, I was very confused because I didn't remember like all the stuff from the Ant-Man movie. So Dr. Hubbs had to like fill me in on like, I was like, pause. I was like, please tell me what I'm watching, because it like dives right into the action and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I am very confused. So we watched that. We also watched Crazy Rich Asians, which is
What did you think?
hysterical. And I was like happy crying at the end.
Aww.
It was so good. I was fairly certain I would like it. I've got a friend who adopted a daughter. They adopted a daughter from, I believe it was China, but I'm not 100%. I'm fairly certain. What is beeping?
One of the university shuttles is backing up.
Oh, okay.
And so it beeps, so you will get out of the way and not get run over, and the university won't have to pay your tuition.
And your medical bills?
Hit me with your car!
Oh, dang it, I just said it. Anyway, Crazy Rich Asians was hysterical. And, oh, goodness gracious. The kind of one of the main characters was, I can't think of her name, but who plays Captain Georgiana in Star Trek Discovery?
Giorgio.
That's what I mean. Anyway.
I think her name is Michelle Yeoh.
That's it. She plays a very different character from Star Trek Discovery versus Crazy Rich Asians. So it was funny. I think you would enjoy it. Oh, anyway, what I was saying was my friend. They went. They went and saw it like right when it came out and loved it. So I was fairly certain I would like it, because I think we have some similar taste. So I think you would enjoy it. It's funny. And I don't know if they're going to do a sequel to it. It's a trilogy of books that it was based on. So I'm not sure if they're going to do a sequel. It would be funny. Oh my goodness. It was, and I'm not a big comedy person. It was funny. It was really funny. Okay. Television wise, I finished watching the Travelers series, and it was not renewed for a fourth season. So, but do you want to know how it ended?
Cliffhanger.
No.
Oh.
Kind of. Not totally. So the main guy, the guy from Will and Grace, that I still don't remember his name, he was sent back to a place before like the Traveler program fully began. He was sent back, and he sent a message to the director, who is the computer program that sends out the Traveler thing. He sent a message to the director that said, Traveler program failed. Do not send anyone. And so then the end of it is we see a computer screen, and it's like, Program Traveler version 1 failed. Traveler version 2 begin. So that could have either been the end of the series, or they could have like picked up, and if they were renewed for another season, they could go from there. So it's kind of either way. So I'm watching now a new show since I finished Travelers. I'm watching The Sinner, which is not safe for children. It's an MA rating. So it was originally made to be an 8-episode limited series. And it follows the case of a woman who kills someone seemingly for no reason, And then over the course of these 8 episodes, we find out what really happened, which I was like, oh, I did not see that at all happening. But there was such acclaim for it. So Jessica Biel played the main character in this first 8 episodes. So anyway, it had such acclaim that they renewed it for a second season. Bill Pullman, is that his name? He played like the lead cop, the lead detective guy. So now season 2 is about a 13-year-old child who kills his parents. And then we get the whole 8 episodes to find out what happened. People outside of our places are being loud. Dammy moved, in case you didn't notice. She moved rooms from the hallway into a room that became open. So,
and the parking lot is right outside.
So, yeah, season 2. So I have 1 episode left of season 2. And it went like where it was. So it went into a cult thing. So there's a cult with members in it, and all these things. And the boy is a member of the cult.
Yikes.
So I've got 1 episode of that left, Pink Pearl, and I will watch that tonight so that I know what happened.
Wait, you're subjecting my baby to this?
Yes. You watch it with me? Oh, are you
She's
going to go
a baby.
Are you going to go in your paper bag? Oh, no, you're going to
What?
eat some more lunch. She's coming to eat more lunch. So next, I'm going to watch The Widow, which is an Amazon Prime series with Kate Beckinsale and... Do you know? Alex Kingston in it.
Oh.
I love Alex Kingston. So it is... Here, let me tell you the premise. A woman's search to uncover the mysterious disappearance of her husband leads her to the Congo, where she's forced to seek the truth about what happened to the man she loved. It is also apparently not safe for children. It has an MA rating. So I think it's just 8 episodes, and I don't know if that's like the end of it or if it'll be renewed or whatever, because I haven't even watched the first episode. But that's my next thing to watch is The Widow. So, right, let's see. Okay, and then regular TV, we're watching Series 8 of Call the Midwife. We have the finale to watch still. We have that as the last one. Murdoch Mysteries Season 12, it was a 2-parter for the finale of the season. So we've watched the first part of the 2-parter. And in the first part, John Brackenreed, who is Inspector Brackenreed's son, and he's also a police officer, he was arrested for murder. And Murdoch is being considered for an inspector position.
Oh.
So, yes. So we need to watch the second half. We're watching NCIS Season 16, NCIS New Orleans Season 5. I watched the Series 8 finale of Death in Paradise, and I had so much to say that it took up like 12 lines. Not really 12 lines, like 5. So D.I. Mooney wanted to go back to London to be with his daughter Siobhan because her partner cheated on her and broke up with her. So he's on the ferry to go catch a plane when he solves the murder in his head. So he jumps off the ferry and swims back to shore. And then he can't get a flight for 5 more days because they're all booked. So the commissioner surprises him by bringing his daughter to the island. Tears, reunion. Oh my goodness. The commissioner, who is this very like by the books, brusque, just commissioner guy, he brought her to the island, and it was very, very sweet.
Aww.
I know. And then we're watching Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. I'm watching Series 1 of Mrs. Fisher's Modern Murder Mysteries, which I really am enjoying. I think it's going to be 4 like hour-and-a-half long episodes. So it's kind of like what Sherlock does.
Is that pink?
No, it's the children outside.
Sounds like pink.
So I think it's 4 hour-and-a-half long episodes, so I've watched 2 of them now. And then I'm watching Season 4 of Supergirl, Season 6 of When Calls the Heart, and Season 7 of Arrow. Listening to My beloved, my favorite murder podcast. I was talking to a friend about it earlier today, and we calculated that they've discussed over 300 murders. And some of them are serial killers. So they've discussed more than 300 people being murdered. So I listened to that. I listened to the new episode of David Tennant Does a Podcast with ... And this week he had a podcast with former UK Prime Minister Gordon Brown. It was actually very fascinating. So he is from like the Edinburgh area. So I think he said he's from Fife. So he like did stuff in Edinburgh, and he was talking about it on the podcast. Yes, you have a very weird lines on you. And he talked about like how his children dealt with him being in office. And he also talked about, which was very, very interesting, and I did not realize. So here in the U.S., when we vote for president, the election happens in November, but the president doesn't actually go into office until January, right?
Yeah.
Apparently in the UK, it's the next day. Mine hasn't come yet.
Yeah, mine took a while to come.
Okay. Anyway, so yes, need to vote. Apparently they have to, it's like the next day, like the election's over, okay, you're out.
Be gone.
Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness. So it was actually really interesting because I'm not really like big into politics. And even though we lived in Scotland for 4 years, we didn't vote. We couldn't vote while we were there in any of the UK elections or anything because we were there on a student visa. And, well, the Dr. Hubbs was there on a student visa, and we were there as part of that. I don't remember the term. Dependents, maybe like student visa dependents or whatever. So I still didn't really know a lot about politics in the UK. So it was really, really interesting to hear him talk about, like, yeah, all that stuff. So, and just another warning, it does have language. All of the episodes have had language. And I'm not sure who's next, who is coming on next on the podcast. So it's always fun when that comes in on Tuesday nights, Monday nights. I think Monday nights, maybe. I think Tuesday in the UK is when it comes out. So what have you been listening to? Have you been listening to anything since you've been writing so much papers?
Not really anything besides the playlist I made of all the hunchbacks together.
No cabin pressure this week?
I haven't had time.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, that is what we are reading, watching, and listening to. We have some prizes to award, so we should move on to the next segment.
Now we're going to talk about our December, January, February Walking in a Winter Wonderland. Al.
Walking in a Winter Wonderland. Do-do-do-do.
Yeah, it's over.
It is. So, Dammy, why don't you tell us who finished FOs on the final day of the Along?
I would love to. Angie's Hip, Craft Worker, I Now Hour, Philippa MC, Knitter Chow, Moe's Crochet, Newfie Mom, Panushka, and Tonya Twister.
Great job. All right, Dammy, we have prizes to award. So what do we need to tell them first? What is the rules?
If you're a winner, you have 30 days to claim your prize or you forfeit it. We need your physical address, so PM that to Java Pearl on Ravelry.
With your full name and mailing address. And yes. I will get that prize sent out to you. So, you want me to read the prizes and you tell us who won?
Sure.
Okay. So first up, we have a Christmas tree project bag by Donna's Designs Shop that was donated by Rhonda, who's dueling needles on Ravelry. And the winner for that is?
59, Jennifer Reels.
Next up, we have a Christmas stitch marker set made and donated by Teresa, who's Jazzy Creations. And the winner is?
406, I Now Hour.
We have a Seattle Seahawks stitch marker set, also made and donated by Teresa of Jazzy Creations, and the winner of that is
367, Silver Luna 2112.
Next up, we have 2 winners who will each win an Illuminati enamel pen made and donated by Julia, who is Nimrus of Pandia's Jewels. Those 2 winners are
229, Share 2014, and 507, Knit Central.
Next up, we have like a prize package of a project bag from Neighborhood Fiber Co., a red cable notebook donated by Marianne, who is Knit Central on Ravelry, a Lose Me Not mini stitch marker size from Jan B. Smiley, a Ginger Twist Studio needle gauge, a Nessie stitch marker, and 15 grams of Hilltop Cloud silk hankies. Who is winning all of that goodness, Dammy?
651, Carlene Page.
Yes. And then finally, we have 3 different skeins of yarn, all donated by Eileen, who is Leaner on Ravelry. First up, we have the Fairy Tale Knits Elven Music in the green tonal colorway. The winner is
550, Shirley Knits 123.
Then we have Space Cadet Lucina in the No Snow colorway that I really want to keep, but I won't. I will send it to
152, JP Music 15.
Yes. And then we have a Zweigert Opal Diamond in the 6524 colorway. And the winner is
561, Elsa and M.
So, Jenny for reals, I Now Hour, Silver Luna 2112, Share 2014, Knit Central, Carlene Page, Shirley Knits 123, JP Music 15, and Elsa and M. Please PM me, Java Pearl and Ravelry, with your full name and mailing address. You have 30 days to claim your prize or you forfeit it. And now we're ready to move on to a brand new seasonal along.
And now we're going to talk about our March, April, May Sheepy Spring Owl.
Yes, so tell us all about it, Dammy.
So this started on the 1st of March and it runs through the 31st of May. It is for any project you can knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to spring. If you can't think of anything, you made your project in the spring. There are a couple main rules for this owl, as with all of our owls. First is no whips are allowed. Your project must have been begun no earlier than the 1st of March and then finished no later than the 31st of May. And each project of at least 20 yards you finished in post in the FO thread counts as one entry into the owl. But if your project is not at least 20 yards, you need to group it in a single post with other projects that together total at least 20 yards. Goodness gracious. So you can feel free to poly dip in other owls as long as it fits in with other rules. That's totally fine, including the great podcaster Craft Together. There's a link to that in the show notes. And then prizes. I was informed that last week was not the first podcast of the month, technically, so we're going to talk about prizes again. If you are interested in donating a prize for this owl or later owls, you can PM Java Pro on Ravelry or email geekygirlsknit@gmail.com.
Yes. So would you like to start or you would like me to start?
You.
Okay. So first up, we have a floral, circular, and interchangeable needle holder case made by Devon Makes, donated by Rhonda, who is dueling needles.
We have a honeybee project bag and stitch marker made and donated by Teresa, who is Jazzy Creations of Ravelry and Etsy.
We have 4 winners are going to each win a random set of leaf stitch markers made and donated by Julia Nimrus of Pandia's Jewels.
We've got a skein of online Super Sock New York color 1625 donated by Eileen, who's leaner.
And also donated by Eileen, who is leaner on Ravelry, we have lace number 1 filigrane in the 2519 colorway. Thank you so much to all of our prize donors. We really do appreciate you.
If you would like to see larger photos of those prizes or click through to the links from the shops from whence they came, you can go to our show notes, geekygirlsknit.com. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry in order to participate. Just click that Join This Group button up there at the top right. There's a hashtag if you would like to post on social media or tag your projects. It is GGK Spring 19. The FO thread is going to be locked on the morning of the 1st of June, and then winners will be drawn on the next podcast following that, and any winners will have 30 days to claim their prize or they forfeit it. There's a chatter thread on Ravelry where you can encourage each other and post progress on your FOs, and where I give shout outs to people who finished projects in the week, and I also do that here. So why don't I do that right now? Oh, I would love to. A. Holden Gouveia, DG White, Jodediah, Knit Princess 83, Little Angel SG2, El McCall, Masterbox P248, Shirley Knits 123, and Wolf Joy.
Great job. It's only a week in and we already have all those FOs. Craziness. Great job. So keep working on those FOs. You have just under 3 months to get them done and posted. All right, Dammy, I think we're ready to move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them.
Yes, so what is this week's question, Dammy?
This week's question is from Rebecca, who is Strauss from Michigan. I love participating in the OWL each quarter, and it is nice to be able to share things I knit to keep me accountable to my yearly goals. However, I was wondering if you would ever do an OWL where a cowl where we all knit the same thing. Maybe it would be a lot of work to follow the thread, or perhaps it would not suit other knitters' needs. Just wondering. Thank you.
So we have done in the past that was not a seasonal along. We did For the Love of Socks a couple of years ago. And so that was for any sock pattern. We did, when our White Christmas patterns released, we did a White Christmas cowl. We've done a Doctor Who cowl. Trying to think, is there any other ones that we've done? We did
Those
a
were
fandom.
A long time ago.
They were a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. We did.
Yes.
I think we did a fandom along at one point.
Maybe.
I don't know that we've done just like one specific pattern because I don't want people to feel like locked in and like, oh, if I can't do this pattern, I can't participate. But we will be doing an along to the My Favorite Mystery wrap pattern because it's a mystery wrap pattern. So what I would probably do for that is I will probably put an along thread in the Java Pearl Designs group so that people who don't watch the podcast but want to participate can. I'll have to think of some prizes for that. I feel like they need to be My Favorite Murder themed. So, see, I just said, I'll have to think on that. But yeah, the reason we haven't like done, knit this specific sock pattern is because I just don't want people to feel kind of locked in. And if they don't feel like they have the skill to do that, or they don't like to knit socks or whatever, that they could still participate. So that's why we started just doing the seasonal alongs, because that way everybody could participate with whatever they were doing. I'm not opposed to single pattern alongs. I've participated in some, but that's why we haven't done that. And I feel like because we just do the 4 quarterly ones, that we're able to have more prizes in each quarter versus if we did, just like a monthly along or a 2-month along or whatever, we wouldn't be able to offer as many prizes per along. So this way we get to, I think there's like 8 prizes in spring. And how many were there in winter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was 9 in the winter along. Versus if we did like every month, every 2 months, we probably would only be able to do like 3 to 5 prizes. So I feel like more people get a chance to win by doing it this way. So
fun.
Yes, I'm not like I said, I'm not opposed to it, but that's just what we kind of decided to do, just to make it kind of open to everybody to participate in, and just making it the main rule of no whips are allowed. And then we instituted, I guess about a year ago now, we instituted the yardage requirement just to make sure it just made it a little more fair to have a minimum yardage requirement, or you can group several different things to make that minimum requirement. So yeah, that is how we came to be doing the seasonal alongs. So if you want to participate in the My Favorite Murder along, Mystery Cal, it's a knit pattern only, Mystery knit along. Stay tuned for that because that will be happening starting in late May. And the pattern will become available on Ravelry to kind of pre-order the individual pattern sometime in May. And then the first clue will go out towards the end of May if you don't want to get a kit, which I'll be talking about in just a minute. So thanks for the question, though, Rebecca. Yeah, I don't know how we came to, I don't recall how we came to be doing the seasonal alongs. I don't know what made us start doing it that way, but it's worked, and so we've just kept doing it. So Dami, we are desperately in need of more questions.
Oh.
I don't think we have any more. I don't even think we have a question for next week. Let me look.
Oh.
I think we may have used them all up. Yes, we have no questions left. Zero questions. So if somebody doesn't ask us a question, what are we going to do next week? Maybe we'll have to ask each other a question.
Where were you?
Where were you on the 13th of October, 1999?
Fresh.
Yes. So, Dami, if somebody has a question for us about anything, there's not been a single question we have not answered. We've answered every single one. What should they do?
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in the Ravelry group and post it.
That's right. And we will answer them in the order they come in unless it's a time-sensitive one. Okay, I think we're ready to move on to the next segment. Huzzah! We made it to the end of the show. So, a reminder that the My Favorite Murder Mystery Wrap kits are going up for pre-order on Wednesday, the 20th of March at javapearldesigns.com. And the pre-orders will be open through Sunday the 31st unless they sell out before that. There are 2 kit options. The full kit is 3 skeins of yarn from Suburban Stitcher, 2 glass stitch markers from Ann Tudor LLC, a t-shirt from Nerdy Knits and Designs, and the mystery wrap pattern from me, and that kit is $125 US plus shipping. The smaller kit has everything except the t-shirt, and it is $100 US plus shipping. 20% of the proceeds, both from the kits, both kits, as well as the individual patterns. If you just buy it on Ravelry because you want to use your own yarn, 20% of the proceeds will be donated to In the Backlog. And the first clue will release on Saturday, the 25th of May. So this is a 4 to 6 week pre-order. So the kits will ship out no later than the 12th of May. Hopefully before that, just in case, especially if we have some international people. I just want to make sure everybody has their kit in hand before we send out the first clue. So, okay, an announcement. Come on, you didn't do it.
An announcement.
And we want you all to be the first to know. I don't know if the best things happen while you're dancing or somebody in Vermont. No. Next week, Dami's coming home on Friday for spring break because it's so much easier to edit the podcast if we record together in person. We are going to push the episode 336 is going to be recorded on Friday, the 15th of March, after Dami gets home that day. And we'll release it on Saturday, the 16th of March. And then the following week, we'll record on Thursday, and it'll go live on Friday. But we'll get to do 2 in-person episodes while Dami is home for spring break. So, yay! I mean, I'm glad that we've got the system that works for the most part, technology.
Why'd you say that?
I know.
Because now it's not going to work.
Knock on wood. So that we can continue to podcast, but it will be so much easier if we're in person together. So next week, watch for the episode on Saturday morning instead of Friday morning. All right, Dami, I think that's all the announcements.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about our normal stuff. A huge thank you to everyone who supports the podcast, no matter how it is you do it. because without y'all, we would not be doing the podcast. But a huge thank you, especially to those of you who support us financially, because unfortunately it does cost money to do the podcast, such as shipping out all 9 of those prizes that were won in the winter along, etc., technology behind the scenes stuff. So thank you to those of you who support us financially. There are three main ways you can do that. One is through Patreon, which is a site where you pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives, and you earn prizes based on the level that you donate at. I just sent out Patreon prizes yesterday. Actually, the Dr. Hubs sent out Patreon prizes yesterday. I did them, and then he took them to go out into the mail to go to you. So, Dammy, if someone wants to know more about Patreon or wants to sign up, where should they go?
Patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
That's right. What's another way, Dammy?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
And we are amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you go to our website first and find either the logo or link in the sidebar or at the bottom of the show notes posts, and click through to Amazon, to your appropriate Amazon based on where you live, and then shop, we will earn a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you would be doing anyway. There's a delay on when we get the money from Amazon, so this month we just got all the Christmas money from the Christmas purchases. So, yes. So, arg. I almost said again. Arg. I tried to catch myself. So, Dammy, why don't you tell everybody where they can find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are links to everywhere else we're online: YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
That's right. Well, with that, Dammy, we're going to tell everyone goodbye. We hope that you all have a lovely rest of your week. If you're a prize winner, make sure and send me a PM. Work on your projects for the spring along. And make sure and go ask us questions in the Ask the Geeky Girls thread on Ravelry. And stay tuned after the credits to see Pink Pearl playing with her birthday presents from one of her favorite people now, Yuko of Honeyberry Studios. Until next week, when you will be getting the episode on Saturday instead of Friday. Happy knitting, happy crafting, happy whatever craft you're doing. Happy. Enjoy it, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, I'm glad she likes it. Pinky, what do you got? Aww. Did you get a birthday present from Yuko? Cute. You got a candy catnip. Oh, you love it. You love it. You love it. Where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, you laid on it. Yeah, that means she loves it too if she lays on it. So cute. Oh, do you like it? Cute. What is there something else in there? Oh.
That might get kind of messy. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. What you got? What'd you get? Cute. You got another candy? Yeah. Another candy?